These three abandoned or forgotten cars. You won't believe they ever existed. Some cars were created with big dreams, power, innovation, and style. But not every car achieved legendary status. These three American cars were either abandoned, forgotten, or erased from history. Whether it was bad timing, weird design, or just plain bad luck, they disappeared. You won't believe these cars were once real, and now almost no one remembers them. Support the channel by subscribing and liking. Your support motivates us to move forward in our community, which has more and more car lovers. Don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss the next episodes. Thank you. Number 3, 1957 Chevrolet Nomad, the stylish icon that America forgot. Once upon a time, the 1957 Chevrolet Nomad was a dream car, not just for gearheads, but for families who wanted style with substance. It was sleek, sporty, and practical, a rare combination in the 1950s. But despite all that promise, the Nomad quietly faded into obscurity. And today, many people don't even know it existed. Built on the same platform as the iconic Bel Air, the 57 Nomad was a two-door sport wagon, unlike anything else on the market. It had the tail fins, it had the chrome, it had the legendary 283 cubic inch V8, and it offered power, elegance, and versatility in one bold package. It was a station wagon for people who didn't want to drive a station wagon. But here's the twist. The Nomad didn't sell well. Only about 6,100 were produced in 1957. Why? It was priced too high, it had only two doors, and families at the time preferred practicality over flair. Buyers went for cheaper wagons with more doors and easier rear access. Meanwhile, hot rodders loved the looks, but not the utility. So despite its stunning design and high performance, the Nomad was discontinued after 1957. Chevrolet moved on, America moved on, and this beautiful, forward-thinking vehicle was slowly forgotten by the mainstream. Today, the 1957 Nomad is a collector's treasure, rare, valuable, and appreciated mostly by vintage car enthusiasts. But outside that world, it remains one of the most overlooked cars of the 1950s. A victim of timing, cost, and market confusion. The Nomad deserved better. It wasn't a failure, it was just too bold for its time. Number 2, 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor Hurse. The final ride that became a legend. When most people think of classic Cadillacs, they imagine long hoods, sharp fins, and endless chrome. But few remember one of the most dramatic and unusual versions ever built. The 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor Hearse. Built on the Cadillac commercial chassis, this hearse wasn't made by GM alone. It was crafted by Miller Meteor, a coach builder that specialized in turning Cadillac frames into ambulances, limousines, and funeral cars. And in 1959, they went all in, combining Cadillac's over-the-top styling with solemn purpose. The result was stunning and surreal. It had the longest tail fins ever put on a production Cadillac, complete with jet-age taillights and massive chrome bumpers. At over 21 feet long, it looked like a car from a sci-fi film. In fact, it eventually did become a movie star, famously reborn as the Ecto-1 in Ghostbusters. But in real life, these cars were built in small numbers and used for quiet duties, funerals, last rides, emergency service. Once retired, most were scrapped or left to rot behind funeral homes and garages. The cost of maintaining such a specialized, oversized vehicle made restoration rare. As time passed, most of these incredible machines vanished. Today, the 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor Hearse is a ghost from the past. A car that's haunting in all the right ways. It's a symbol of a time when even utility vehicles were made with bold design and unapologetic style. Forgotten by many, but unforgettable once you see it. Number 1, 1971, Damaso Pantera, the exotic American supercar nobody talks about. In 1971, a car arrived that had the heart of Detroit and the soul of Modena, the Damaso Pantera. It was unlike anything American buyers had seen. With its Italian bodywork and a roaring Ford V8 under the hood, the Pantera promised supercar performance at a muscle car price. But today, most people have never heard of it. The Pantera was born from an ambitious dream. Alejandro de Tomaso, an Argentine-born racer and entrepreneur, teamed up with Ford to build a mid-engine sports car that could rival Ferrari and Lamborghini, but be sold through Lincoln Mercury dealerships in the US. Styled by the legendary Tom Charda at Ghia, the Pantera looked like a jet on wheels, sharp, aggressive, and exotic. Under the hood sat a 5.8-liter Ford 351 Cleveland 5.8, giving it raw American torque and a top speed north of 150 miles per hour. It had disc brakes, independent suspension, and a 5-speed ZF gearbox, specs that were ahead of its time. But here's why it faded into obscurity. Build quality. Early Panteras were plagued by rust issues, poor electrical systems, and inconsistent panel gaps. Even more damaging, many cars were delivered with reliability problems right off the showroom floor. Dealers weren't trained to service mid-engine exotics, and Ford's patience quickly ran out. By 1975, after only a few thousand Panteras were sold in the US, Ford cut ties with De Tomaso. The car lived on in Europe into the 90s, evolving and improving, but in America, it was quietly forgotten. Today, the 1971 Pantera is a hidden gem, a misunderstood mix of brute force and European style. It never got the spotlight it deserved, but for those who know, it remains one of the most underrated supercars ever to come out of the American market.